Please watch the video in high quality. In this video, we will learn how to save 3D model loaded in Unity editor into a mesh written in the code. This will enable us to load the model as part of the code instead of having to put it into our assets or part of in the editor. So that could happen by logging out the mesh content inside the editor, and then it's just a matter of copying these content and pasting them inside our script, uh, any script you have, and then just paste these content. If we save and if we go back to the editor and deactivate or remove the model, now if we play again, we will see that the model is being loaded from the code itself and not from as part of the editor. To start, I will create an empty game object. We'll call it model. And inside my asset, I'll create a new folder. We'll call it models. And inside that folder, I have a game already a model. It's a simple model of a box, so I'll just drag that into it. Here it is. And then if I click the box, make sure to allow the read and write property. And that's here, so I'll just stick that in. And then I'll drag and drop the box into my empty game object named model and click apply. Here it is. And now inside the assets, I'll create a new folder and call it materials. And inside that folder, right click, I'll create a new material and I'll just call it blue and assign a blue color to it. And after that is done, I'll just drag the material into the game object in the box, and you'll see the box color has changed. Next, I'll create a button. It's a UI, right click UI, and then button text mesh pro, and import text mesh pro essentials. And once that is done, I will rename the button to log or mesh log button, and then I'll change its pivot to 0 on the X, 1 on the Y, and the anchor to top left, and then the position is 0 on both X and Y, and we'll change the width to 250 and the height to 50. And inside the mesh text, I'll just change the font size to 40, and the text will make it log mesh. And so now if I click on the button and press F to zoom fit all, I'll just rotate around, orbit around to see how that look like. That's it. Now I'll create an empty game object where I could put my scripts. So we'll just call it mesh log. And inside the assets, I'll create a new folder and we'll call it scripts. And inside that folder, I'll create a new two new scripts. One I will call mesh log, and the other I will call generate mesh. And once these two scripts are created, I'll just drag them into the new empty game object named meshlog. I'll select this, drag it here, Select this one, drag it here. I'll just select the game object to make sure that one of the scripts is not in yet. Make sure that both scripts are here. Okay, so now we will start with the mesh log. I'll double click so we can open it in Visual Studio and edit or add our code. So inside the mesh log script, I'll just change the script and I'll go through the changes. So I added two namespace, the system text and the system that we're gonna use later. We're gonna call methods from them. And then I'll create two variable. One is public, a game object called model, and one is a private for the color of that model. And then I'll create two private methods. One is converting an array to a string. So you pass it a name of the to what the string variable name could be, an array of vector 3. And what it does, it just goes through that array and convert it into one string. So yeah. And then another method that convert an array of integers into a string. And similar to that, it's just you pass what you want the name of the variable as a string to be, and then you pass the integer array or array of integers and print out to you a string of that represent that array. And then we have a public method that we're gonna use it later, assign it in the editor. So when a user click the button, it's called this method. And what this method do or does, it's loop through the model and gets it through its the method of get components in children and using the mesh filter. So it will get all the children that has the mesh filter component to it, and then it will get the mesh of each of these children using get components in children using the mesh filter dot mesh, passing the I iterator, and then it will get the color using get components in children and the mesh render into it, and then dot material dot color. So here we're gonna get loop through. First here we're gonna get the mesh of each child and then the color of each child. Then we call print mesh method, and that's the one. In this method, first we gonna get it will take a mesh as parameter, and then is get the vertices of the mesh, the normals, the triangles, the indices through these methods. And then if the model doesn't have a mesh renderer, it will assign a mesh renderer into it. But yeah, here we already have getting a mesh renderer, but just in case, you could comment it out. Okay, and then we will have a variable of string builder, and that's it just better to use instead of string, because every time that string builder it's kind of advanced string, but it's safe on the memory side, because every time we abandon it, as a normal string would be allocating a new space in the memory, but the string builder, its advantage is it just flexible, that the changing or all these events happen in the same memory space, so it won't take more memory when we do the append. In other words, new strings won't be created. It's just one that's keep being modified. Okay, so we created by assigning a new string, doing a new string builder, and then we append to it the vertices. So this is using the method we have, v3 to string array. So we just pass to it what do we need to pass in the string as the name of the variable because the result will be an array of string. We'll see how it's look like. And then the array of vertices and print it out as a string. And then we append it to our main SB, which is string builder. And then here we just add a new line. I'll show you in a moment how the whole result is showing. Then we append the string similarly of the normals of all these variables we got here, the triangles and the indices, and adding new lines between them. Then we append the color using the new the RGBA values of that color, and the color we have it here, the model color. So we just pass that as a string. And then here we start creating a new, all that's happening as a text in a string, but we copy it later and you'll use it as a code. We'll show you how in a moment. So yeah, we in a string way, we creating a new mesh, adding a new line, and we change the index format to be 32 just in case it's a huge mesh, so or has a huge number of vertices. It's still going to be okay in this case instead of 16. And then the vertices so we created the mesh, assigned the vertices and assigned the normals, assigned the triangles, and set indices in case the mesh topology is not just regular triangles, it could be lines or anything, so that would account for it. We'll get the mesh topology and print it out as well. New line, and then we created a new game object that will hold later the mesh we created here. And then we add component of mesh filter so to that game object, so we could add a mesh to it later. And then we add another mesh renderer component so we could work with materials and colors. And then we assign the mesh to the game object, both here. And then at the end, we just change the color of the of the game object based on the color we have here. Okay, so now if I save and go back to my editor, I need to assign that new method into my button. So this is the button, and we'll go to the on click and click plus, and then we know these two scripts are part of the mesh log game object, so I'll just drag and drop the mesh log here, and then I could have access to its scripts and public methods. So I click here, I go to mesh log script we're working with, and then inside I'll look for print model and I will select it. And I also need to assign the model public variable that we declared over here inside the editor. So if I go to the code, which is inside this uh, game object, and here we need to drag the model object into it. Okay, and now I'll just need to adjust the camera. So if I select the model and press F and see where it is, and I'll just orbit around a little bit till we have a kind of just a normal view over here. Okay, and now if I click my camera and hold Control Shift and F, it will match our scene. And now if I click play and watch on the console, I'll click log mesh and we'll see we'll have this this object printed. If I click on it, we'll see the details. I might just drag this out a little bit over here just to see all the contents. Yeah, and so if we just, these are the content we have logged out. If I select them up to here, and this is it's just a code. We could copy it and paste it into our code. So I'll do that. I'll copy that, and then I'll just stop the play and move this out a bit. And if we go to this generate mesh script, open it, and in the start, I'll just paste that log, and you could see it's ready script over here. So if I just save, and now if we go back to our editor and I could select the model, we don't need it anymore because now we have this model inside our script. So I could just hide this and it's gone, and we could load the model from our script directly. So if I click play, I could see the model is there and it's from the script, not from the editor anymore. So yeah, that's it. This is how we could convert an editor 3D model to script generated mesh in Unity. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, and click the notifications button to help me make more videos like this.